my god, I have to tell you, researching this video gave me such a headache that I actually felt sick. I consider myself to be a reasonably intelligent person. I got good grades at school, I have a first class honours degree and a postgraduate diploma in journalism. But this list, I mean, for me, these puzzles are an absolute hard no. I'm Rebecca Felgate, this is the top 10 puzzles you can't solve, and trust me, you can't. To be honest, I can barely even explain them, let alone solve them, so. Coming in at number 10, we have the 3 cups puzzle. There is a solvable version of this mathematics puzzle and an unsolvable one. The solvable version goes that there are 3 cups, A, B and C. A is face down, B is face up and C is face down. The objective is to turn all of the cups the right side up in no more than 6 moves, but you have to turn over 2 consecutive cups at each move. Make sense? Sure. As I said, there is a solvable version, but the so far unsolvable version has B facing down with cups A and C facing up. Tell me if you can do it, show me. Coming in at number 9, we have the Eternity 2 puzzle. The Eternity 2 puzzle was released in July 2007 by Lord Christopher Monckton. Now he offered a $2 million prize to the first person to solve it by the 31st of December 2010. Nobody was able to find a solution. The puzzle is an edge matching puzzle of 256 pieces on a 16 by 16 grid. It is so hard because different colour and shape combinations are needed to match them up precisely. One man, Louis Vernhard, was awarded $10,000 for matching 467 edges out of 480, but the main puzzle still hasn't been solved. Okay, some light relief from the endless stress. At number 8, we do have a puzzle you can solve, it's just most of us will never get close. That's right, we have the 15 puzzle. The 15 puzzle is a 4x4 square of tiles with one missing and the remaining 15 with a different number on it between 1 to 15. The goal is to move the numbers so that they're in consecutive order, but it's really hard. It has actually been argued that half of the possible starting positions for the puzzle are indeed impossible to solve, no matter how many moves are made. So if organised wrong at the start, then the completion is simply unreachable. I feel like my problem with puzzles is patience. I really do not have enough patience to sit there solving a puzzle all day, I just don't. What better for our number 7 than the 7 Bridges of Königsberg problem? The 7 Bridges of Königsberg is a historic mathematics problem with a negative solution. The poser of the problem, Leonard Euler, laid the foundations for graph theory when he posed the problem in 1736. This is a problem. Here is the map of Königsberg, now Kaliningrad in Russia. In Euler's era there were 7 bridges in the city. Here they are. Have a good old gander. The problem comes when trying to devise a walk through the city that crosses each bridge only once. Let me save you some time. You just can't do it. Coming in at number 6, we have the KO cipher. Okay, so this has been also kind of solved. The KO cipher was a machine made up of 2 small revolving discs. This was invented by J.F. Fine in 1918. He offered a cash reward to anyone who could solve it. The algorithm was formed of alphabets printed on the 2 discs. Up until 2010, only his sons and the 2 editors of Cryptologia knew the method, until it was finally cracked. Now the reason I put this on the list is because it's good to remind ourselves that while things may seem impossible sometimes, it may take almost 100 years to solve them, answers can be found. Coming into number 5, we have none other than the 5-room puzzle. Such a classic. This puzzle involves a large rectangle divided into 5 rooms. Each room has a door on each wall. The aim is to cross through each room using each door once and only once. Even without the way too complex to explain graph theory, it is actually quite easy to see that this honey has absolutely no solution. The only way to solve it is by drilling a hole in the floor on a torus, but that isn't allowed, so yeah, try it, let me know. Coming in at number 4, we have a very murderous puzzle, and that is the puzzle left by the Zodiac Killer. I mean, I'm sure that somebody will eventually solve the last part of this sick puzzle, but so far, nobody has. A serial killer on a spree in the 60s and 70s left clues as to their identity and motives behind the spate of murders in a series of cipher code messages. These messages were sent to newspapers, followed with a demand that they were printed, meaning that the general public was also involved in trying to solve the code. The killer themselves said that when the code is finally cracked, their identity will be revealed. Parts of the message have been solved, but not all of them. Their identity is still unknown to this day. Some jokers out there suspect it was Ted Cruz, but I don't think so. Coming in at number 3, we have the 3-way magic square. If you love difficult puzzles, you will probably have heard of and even played with magic squares. The way these puzzles work is by each direction of the squares in a line creating the same sum. It game works with 4x4 magic squares, 5x5, 6x6, and 7x7, but at the moment, nobody has been able to create a 3x3 magic square. In 1996, Martin Gardner, a mathematician, offered $10,000 to anyone who could generate one, but over 20 years later, nobody's been able to do it. Coming in at number 2, we have the P versus NP problem. Okay, so this is an unsolved computer science problem which is asking whether every problem that can be verified by a computer can be solved by a computer. The answer, or indeed verification of P equals NP, would determine whether problems that can be verified in polynomial time can be solved in polynomial time. Sure. What you need to know is that this is one of the Millennium Prize problems set out in the year 2000. There's $1 million on the line for someone who can prove or disprove or even just figure this whole thing out. Finally, at number 1, the ultimate puzzle, we have the universe puzzle. So what caused the Big Bang, and what is the answer of how something came from nothing? It's a riddle, it's a puzzle. As of yet, nobody knows the answer. If you are one of those people that answers God to this question, then tell me, who created God? Because every single law of science comes down to the principle that something cannot come from nothing. Can I get a hells yeah for the first law of thermodynamics? Hells yeah! As the decades pass, we get closer and closer to puzzling together the secrets of our universe, but we are still a long way from being able to fully understand our existence. This, if you will, is the ultimate puzzle, and while we can't solve it now, I am more than confident that over time, we absolutely will. Whew, there we go. Puzzles, 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 puzzles. Whose brain is hurting? Whose brain is hurting? Mine is. How puzzling. Help! So, there we go. By the way, if you guys like this video, you may A, like our channel Life's Biggest Questions, or B, like our channel Top 10 Nerd. If you're a better puzzle solver than me, then do let me know the answer to some of these in the comments section down below. Also, are there any other difficult puzzles out there that you want me to try and solve? Trust me, I don't have the patience. For now, I'm Rebecca Felgate, this has been Most Amazing Top 10, leave a thumbs up on this video, share it with a friend, and stay subscribed for a lot more easy to digest lists. See you next time.